Welcome back. Welcome back to JAMB Capital's video series. Before we start, let's talk. So, past performance is no guarantee of future results. There is no guarantee of future performance. All investments involve risk, including risk of loss. And finally, this is purely education only. And here we are. Next video in our series is going to be the euro against the dollar, or in layman's terms, the euro dollar. So first thing we're going to show you is the weekly chart. This is in log scale. So this is going by percentages. And the method we're using today is, not today, today and tomorrow and the next day after and to infinity, is Elliott wave theory. So from the September lows in 2022, which was below par, down here, I have a completed, so we have a sub A, sub B, and this is a diagonal, is an A, larger trend A, larger degree A, smaller degree A, and then we have a WXY. This would be referred to as an unorthodox WXY. Finally, the beginning of 2025, we had a move down, which would be our larger degree B, and then finally, we have a completed 5-wave sequence from the 2025, beginning of 2025 lows to, what is this, the beginning of this year, 2026. So this right here is a completed 5-wave sequence, and the next slide I'm going to show you is how I'm projecting it. So let's look at the daily chart. This is also in log scale. So first here we have an intermediate 1, intermediate 2, and this would be a sub 1, sub 2, sub 3. I have this right here as a rule of alteration. These are opposites in a sense. Wave 4, I have its intermediate 3 going all the way down to 1.428. Off of that, I have this could be a flat, it could be a complex zigzag, which is likely, as the prior wave 2 is pretty much straightforward. It's very simple. This more likely is going to be complex. And then I have its intermediate wave 4 resistance at 1.154. And then once we have the area mapped out, we can then put a trend line at the top of 2 and the top of 4 and at the bottom of the projected 3 to give us an area, possibility, an area of its intermediate 5, which then would become, I have this range anywhere from 1.123 to 1.106. Anywhere in here is going to be our sweet spot. Now, once we have a 5-wave sequence, this right here is incorrect. So just now you can't see it. How about that? So from the January 2026 highs to this projected trading range I have, that is a 5-wave sequence. So typically what happens after a 5-wave sequence, there's a 5 waves down, there's going to be 3 waves in between. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a relief of 3 waves. Whether that relief is short-term, long-term, I don't know. Could we see a big retracement here off of this trading range, wave 5 lows? Could be, yeah. Or we could see a short retracement and then it dip back down. But what I'm going to show you next is some alternative counts. So here's a possibility. Back down in that trading range we talked about, between 1.2 and 1.1. And in this case, we have a flat, larger trend flat. So what happens typically is all-time highs, near all-time highs. Excuse me. What will happen is we'll have a retracement of the up to the January 2026 highs. Could it breach it? Possibly. If it does, it's probably going to 1.22, which is fine. But in the end, it's going to see a retracement back to this support level, back to these levels. As you can tell, there's areas of support. Here, in this case, I have it going down to, back down to the 1.10 levels, possibly even lower. It just depends. But for the most part, we're going to be seeing, once this 5-wave sequence is completed, we're going to see another retracement up, and then we'll see another 5 waves down. Another example. In this case, 5-wave sequence is completed. Now we have a short wave 3 retracement. Excuse me, not wave 3. A short B wave retracement, followed by a 5-wave sequence. In this case, unlike the other one, this is very short. My guess, a lot of buyers of the euro, some sort of crises in a sense. I don't know, but there'll be mass amount of buying of the euro. All right, let's look at the others. Let's look at another count. This case, 5-wave sequence down. Now we're going to have a flat correction. A flat correction means there's virtually no growth. There's a lot of volatility. And what happens is, essentially, as the kids say, it's the old rug pull. You know, spirits are high, spirits are low. This thing's going to the moon, and then the old rug pull. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So what we're seeing is this 5-wave sequence is going to bring more pain. All right, let's look at the last one. This case it's an even shorter one. This is one where all hell, I guess, is breaking loose. Something's going on. Maybe the U.S. economies were, let's say maybe we're at 6,000 in the S&P. Maybe below. Break 6,000, and this is what's happening. Or are we seeing all these people, cashing out their stocks for U.S. dollars? Is that what we're seeing? I don't know. But I'm going to leave you with this. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'll just leave you with that. All right. Thank you.